I'm Bo Johnson. Allow me to pose a question that every generation of free people must confront. It's not rhetorical. It's not poetic. It's not dramatic either. It's real. What price are you willing to pay to defend the American Republic? Would you risk money, friendships, family, career, comforts? Would you risk being misunderstood, criticized, or targeted? And if pushed, would you risk even more, like prison? These are not questions for the faint-hearted. These are questions for people living in a moment like ours, where the gap between appearance and reality has grown very, very wide, and where corruption hides behind the language of law. Years ago, I heard a speaker named Roger Smith, and he said something that struck me deeply. Live your life as if you will be killed. What he meant was this: live with courage, live with conviction, live as if the truth is worth sacrifice. Scripture says, quote, "Greater love has no man than this, that he lay down his life for his friends," end quote. I believe the corruption of the federal government and the fraudulent application of jurisdiction and taxation is a battlefield of this same moral weight, not because we fight with violence, but because we fight with truth, and truth often carries a cost. I know this personally. Look at the picture of me as a young man, a VMI cadet, an Army officer, a company commander in a real-time intelligence collection environment, a father who loved his children, a man who believed deeply in justice and accountability. Now look at the second picture. This is me after months in solitary confinement. No sunlight, no sleep, no exercise, shackled, mocked. I was called Four Eyes fucking Jesus when the guards passed me around. Treated as if I were a danger to the world rather than a man challenging federal corruption. I was transported to federal courts with an electronic belt around my waist, capable of sending thousands of volts through my body if I turned my head the wrong way. Why? Because I challenged a system that I believed would recognize the truth. I thought I'd get a fair trial in a conservative district in Virginia. Instead, I learned what many Americans never see. The administrative state plays by its own rules. And I paid the price. I lost years of my life. I lost my family. Some of my children no longer speak with me. This is a wound deeper than the confinement I endured. But here is what matters. I was not destroyed. I was validated. I learned what most Americans never do because they never have to confront this issue directly. And so I ask you, what price will you pay for your freedom, for your children, and for your grandchildren? Because America, this glorious republic, this land of the brave and the land of the free, does not need spectators. It needs men and women who understand what time it is, who understand that we are approaching a moment when knowledge, preparation, and courage matter more than comfort. And the first price you must pay is not sacrifice, it's understanding. It's perhaps your misunderstanding. You must know why you stand. You must know how jurisdiction actually works. You must hold beliefs rooted not in theories or fantasies, but in the bedrock of law and truth. That is why I wrote the primer to the Liberty Dialogues. It's not a summary. It's not a teaser. It's not an introduction in the casual sense. The primer is the orientation session, the foundation, the filter, the lens through which everything else must be understood. It shows you how the administrative state uses presumption to manufacture jurisdiction where none exists. It shows you how status, domicile, consent, and silence are used against the American people. It dismantles the myths and exposes the real mechanisms the government relies upon repeatedly. Not superstition, not pseudo-law, not fringe ideas about zip codes or birth certificates or all capital names. Those are false theories that mislead good people. The primer to the Liberty Dialogues cuts through all of that. It teaches you the lawful, constitutional, and provable framework of jurisdiction, the same framework the federal government fears that you will understand. And if you intend to create a statement of understanding, you must begin with the primer. A statement of understanding is not a gadget or a template. It is a jurisdictional declaration, a record of belief, a shield against presumption, and a foundation of lawful standing. You cannot complete the statement of understanding safely or effectively unless you grasp the material in the primer. The primer protects you, and it protects the integrity of any effort to restore the American Republic. Some people follow the Liberty Dialogues in name only. They like the message, but not the responsibility. They want truth without discipline. They want change without sacrifice. But when tyranny becomes digital, financial, administrative, and total in every aspect of our lives, it will be too late to build a clear foundational understanding. So do it now. Prepare now. Confirm your beliefs now. Read the primer. Master its principles and anchor yourself into jurisdictional truth so that when the unexpected arrives, you are not shaken. America needs men and women who know who they are, who understand their status, who stand on lawful authority, and who refuse the quiet slavery of administrative presumption. Begin with understanding. Begin with truth. Begin with the primer. Get the primer on jamesbowersjohnson.com. And as always, may truth reign supreme.